Hello, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television, inviting you to learn more about City Council ward races this fall of 2023. We've invited all the candidates into our MCAT studio so we could have a quieter one-on-one interview with questions devised really to just allow candidates to say what they want to say about their campaigns and their ambitions. Mirtha Becerra is here in the studio with me. She is a candidate for Ward 2.
Hello, Joel.
Hello, and thanks for taking the time. 4 years later, congratulations. I should mention that you are an incumbent.
Yes.
So when you're speaking from a different kind of experience than the non-incumbent, that's all. Well, here's your question number one. What motivated you to seek this office?
Well, it's been an honor to serve my constituents in Ward 2 for these past 4 years, and the reasons for running for office then are still pretty relevant now. I ran for office to begin with 4 years ago because there was a lot going on at the national level, and I felt that maybe one way to change things a little bit was by working locally with the community and do whatever we could to address big issues that were happening at the national level here locally. During my 4 years on council, we had a pandemic, and we are growing significantly. As a former land use and transportation planner, I feel that my set of skills are still relevant and important these days, given all the growth that we have. So I want to continue to represent my constituents, especially because of all the growth and development that we're seeing and everything that comes with all this growth that we have in Missoula.
Okay, and your next question is, should you succeed in office, what would your top 3 priorities be?
Only 3.
You can mush them together if you like.
Well, I think that my priorities all fall under the umbrella of growth and development. So as we continue to grow, housing is a huge component of what we need to continue to address. 4 years ago, this was a challenge, and now it's been exacerbated by the pandemic and by an influx of people coming into town. So housing and affordable housing that all Missoulians can have access to is really important to me. It has been a priority, but now the pressure that we have of finding homes for Missoulians is significant, and we're working really hard, and I'm committed to continuing to work on that. And then the other issue that stems from growth and development and housing is transportation. When you add more housing, when you have more growth, that inherently brings on more traffic issues, safety concerns for neighborhoods. So that's gonna be continue to be my priority, is how do we grow, because we need to, in order to accommodate more Missoulians, former, new Missoulians, and how do we mitigate for the impacts that growth can have on existing neighborhoods? So that's going to be a priority, and making sure that we have the infrastructure that can accommodate safe travel for all Missoulians, all modes of transportation throughout the community. And then under that same umbrella is homelessness and our unhoused community, the lack of housing, the lack of resources that we have to meet the needs that they have, which can vary from mental health to drug addiction, all kinds of situations that probably led them to be where they are right now, need to be addressed, some of them locally, some of them hopefully with state help. But it's something that it's linked to the lack of housing that we have in Missoula, and the growth that we are seeing right now.
Yeah. Okay, I think you got 3 in there.
Yes, I think I did.
Housing, transportation, houselessness.
Yes.
I don't know if you've had the time to knock on doors, but that's the next question. And some candidates had said, a number of things about this question, but one of them was, Well, I'll be knocking on doors as the fall unfolds. You know, there's just 3 candidates in Ward 5 that are part of the primary that concludes on September 12th. So they've been out. But after that preamble, here's your question. What did you learn on the campaign trail? And I think it's fair to say you could also convert that into your 4 years already in office.
Yeah, so during my campaigning that I did 4 years ago, I was thinking about this as I talked to my constituents. I have most recently as last week. The issues remain somewhat the same. It's just that the intensity of it has increased. We have always had issues with property taxes. I've heard that 4 years ago. And I heard it throughout my 4 years on council, and I'm sure I'm going to hear that again when I knock on people's doors. And I'm cognizant that tax increases are, on property taxes is hurting a lot of my constituents. It's making life more difficult. And so I think that's one of the issues that's going to come up. Our unhoused population is another issue that is likely to come up. Ward 2 includes the Poverello Center, the West Side. So some of those aspects are, I'm sure, affecting people's lives, or it's more visible in that part of the neighborhood as it is in Franklin to the Fort right now too. But actually all throughout Missoula, I think we see a lot more. There's concentrations of our unhoused members of the community, but it's an issue that everyone sees. It's very visible these days. So I'm sure that's going to come up. And housing, again, affordable housing is going to continue to be, I think, an issue that's going to be brought up by people when I talk to them. I haven't knocked on many doors yet. But because my ward includes a lot of areas that have HOAs, homeowners associations, I sometimes meet with them. So I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what the current issues are in some of these areas. So I know that these are some of the concerns they have.
Okay. And here's your final question, and you could take it any, which way you should like. And that is, what would you like potential voters to know about you?
So much, but I think I would like my potential voters to know that I work really hard on behalf of my constituents. I am in Missoula. I am a woman. I am a mother, a wife, a professional. A homeowner, and I was a renter once. So a lot of times when I talk to a lot of people in my ward, I feel that I have, we share some common ground across that spectrum of who we are in the world, and that I can find some commonalities, and I understand the concerns that they bring to me, and that I hear you is, I guess, what I want them to know, is that a lot of the concerns they have, I take them seriously, I do my homework, and I really try to find solutions that are balanced and thoughtful. I'm fully aware that I'm not going to make everyone happy, but hopefully everyone feels that that I'm listening, that I hear what their concerns are, and their priorities are mine. I don't have any pet projects or anything that I personally want to get out of my work on council, other than being a good representative for their concerns and issues.
All right. Well, Mirtha, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. And thank you, dear viewer, for taking the time to learn about city council races in the fall of 2023. We've been visiting with Mirtha Becerra. She is an incumbent seeking another 4-year term to represent Ward 2. So there'll be other interviews down the road here at MCAT. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird. Thanks for watching.